Hello YouTube, it's me TFR Wilderness, and it's that time of month again where I do my end of month bot haul. And of course this is the bot haul for July 2020, so it's the 7th bot haul I've done this month. And yeah, were it not for a last minute top up to this month's haul, it might have been somewhat lackluster. I mean, up until about less than a week ago, I had only 5 items to show you. I've since managed to bolster the numbers slightly with a cheeky last minute purchase from Mr. Gerrut Camero again. Yeah, so shall we get on with it? Also, there's some items that arrived this month that, as you saw in my unboxing video I did on them, were significantly delayed, and I'm going to go into detail about that, and I'm also going to use it as like a mini chew in the fat to air some of my concerns about things going on in the Transformer collecting world at large that I've noticed. So with that said, let's get started, shall we? So July, what can I say about it? Well, I went into this month knowing that it was potentially going to be a low-scoring month in terms of numbers of items to show you at the end, because I had it in mind to buy two big expensive bots that each cost over £100, and had that gone ahead, then I would have had precious little budget left to buy anything else. So there was that. Now, back in the last month, I went over budget last month because, well, I got that customs hit on that Nemesis Prime, that legendary Nemesis Prime I bought from that guy in Japan, and he offered me the FedEx shipping option. They shipped it, and then 5 days later they said, "Oh, you owe us fucking money for a customs hit," and it's like, so I paid that, and that put me over budget, and I thought, sod it, I'm over budget, so I'm going to order a bot that will get delivered next month, and hopefully this will pad out next month's haul. So the first bot to arrive this month is that bot. So it's a bot that I ordered last month. I didn't order it this month, but this was the reason why I went over budget as much as principally the reason why I went over budget. I thought, well, I've gone over budget anyway, I might as well just go whole hog, and go properly over budget. Anyway, that's the case. So one of the bots of the hour, a bot that's recently been released that I saw lots of people, picking it up and doing videos on it. Transformers, Earthrise, Commander Class, Skylynx. Now, I like the look of this thing. I mean, I've got the Combiner Wars one, and he's okay, but I saw this and I thought, you know what, why not? He's so unusual and outrageous. I thought, what the hell? And I do admit, I do like the shuttle mode. The shuttle alt mode is pretty cool, and one of the reasons why I went for this guy. But yeah, when he's combined together in his Mega Beast mode, wow, this thing's awesome. It's so big, it's so heavy. He's pretty solid and tough. Lots of playability, obviously, because he's got 3 modes. He's got more than 3 modes. I mean, he's got this mode. Then you can separate these two things to have like the Lynx and the the bird. Then you can transform them into their alt modes. So you get the shuttle and this thing, it just like lays out flat, but it's got tank treads molded into the feet, and I think it looks like one of those crawler carriers that carries the rockets from the assembly building up to the launch pad. I reckon it looks like one of those, and of course that plays into it when it actually you get like the extra mode that they threw into this set, which is the launch base mode, the base mode. But yeah, I mean, he's got a decent amount of joints. Got things move around, things go click. Yeah, I'm very impressed with it, and I managed to get this from Kapow, and yeah, he's pretty decent figure. I'm glad that I got him. Yeah, he's a second of these Commander class figures. Obviously, I got Jetfire last year at TF Nation for 95 quid. But this guy, I mean, I paid. It was around about, with the Pal's postage, it was around about 70 something quid. Well, nearly just under 80 quid, I think. But yeah, he's really, really cool and big and impressive. Now, obviously, I will say the one thing that most impressed me about this is obviously the shuttle mode, and I think the shuttle mode is amazing. But the thing that really sold it to me about getting this was the fact that they got the NASA logo on it. They got the NASA worm logo on it, and I absolutely love that. I love the fact that they got permission to put the NASA logo on it. I think that's awesome, and it's got like the shuttle name, Magnificence. That's really cool. Yeah, it's got the. You saw a few Adams review on it. The single weapons port. You know, it's inside the cargo bay doors. But no, it's really cool. And then obviously, and then you got Lynx as well. So yeah, it's a really, really decent set, and I'm really glad that I went for it back in the last month, going over budget to buy this thing so that it would arrive early this month. So that was the first arrival I got this month. Then, of course, that arrived on the 2nd, and then the next item to arrive was another, new Earthrise figure that's recently been released. I did a pre-order with In Demand, because a lot of these figures that are coming out for the well, like I said, the sort of late wave Earthrise figures that are coming out, they were popping up on pre-order, and then all of a sudden they're getting released, and the pre-orders were being snapped up, and figures were going out of stock, but they were getting restocked later on. So now, I've in the last couple of years I've got into buying my Titan class figures, and I mean, if you look up here, obviously got Fort Max, Trypticon, and Omega Supreme, and you'll see I've cleared a space between Trypticon and Fort Max. I wonder why that is. Yeah, so placed a pre-order with In Demand, and then, to my surprise, a couple of days later, on the 7th, Scorponok arrived. So yeah, I've gone for, War for Cybertron Earthrise Titan class Scorponok. This was one of the big expensive bots that I was looking to buy this month, because he's like the best part of 140 quid. I think it was 137.99 or something like that. Proving to be, again, a lot of people are picking this up at the moment, and this would have been a shoe-in of one of my major purchases at TF Nation this year, were there going to be a TF Nation. But because of that, obviously, this thing came out a little early, because usually the Titan class figure comes out around about sort of August time. So this guy came out a little earlier, but I went for him, and he's very, very impressive. I'm very impressed with him. I would go so far as to say, out of all the Titan figures I've got, because I haven't got a Metroplex, obviously, he's one of the more solid figures that I've got in the Titan class. He's heavy, he's solid, the transformation is fun and intuitive. I do have some quibbles, though. I do have some very minor nitpicks on this thing. Most notably, these shoulder cannons They're just a single moulded piece of plastic, and I'm a little disappointed that they haven't got pivots on the gun barrel so they can pivot upwards. That's a bit of an oversight. The shoulders, you can see that the shoulders are on a slight angle. I would have liked to have seen a rocking hinge on the shoulder so that it could rock up and rock down, so that you can move the shoulders forward for Scorpion mode and move them back for robot mode. I do think that the hip ratchets are a little on the loose side. They will hold the weight, but if you jiggle it, it falls down. So they could have done with tightening up the hip joints a little bit. What's the other thing? Right, yes. The Scorpion legs. They do have joints, but they're all hinged together. In fact, they're hinged in 2 pairs. And I would like to have seen a joint so that the Scorpion legs can splay outwards, but they're fixed in a line. So when he's in Scorpion mode, they don't look much like, sort of insectoid Scorpion legs, particularly, even though they've got, multiple joints on them. So yeah, again, that's another very, very minor quibble. This collar piece keeps popping off at the back, but it easily pops back on. I think it should have been glued in place, but aside from that, he's amazing. Like I said, very minor quibbles, very minor nitpicks I've got on it, but on the whole, I think he's easily one of the better Titan class figures I've got. He's way better than Omega Supreme. Probably better than Fort Max as well. I mean, there is this size thing. Yeah, he is smaller than Fort Max, but he's bigger than Omega Supreme. He's sort of somewhere in between, and he looks big enough that he could take on Fort Max easily, who is his sort of nemesis from from the Headmaster days. I do like Trypticon a whole lot, because who doesn't love a big robotic dinosaur? But my Trypticon's got a few minor QC issues on it as well, where things don't peg in properly. Yeah, the only other thing about this, see what I mean about that thing popping off? I don't know why it pops off, because it doesn't work in any of the other modes. Is your Headmaster dude. Now, so yeah, he does transform pretty easily, but what's this guy's name? Now, obviously, G1 Headmasters, the Headmaster for Scorponok was Lord Zarak. So this is obviously Lord Zarak. But is it? Because he's a Titan Master. So he's got a little Titan Master dude. So what's this guy's name? You see, this is the thing. Right? You've got this robot and this robot. Right? Now, in the Titan Master series, the Titan Masters all had their own individual names. Now, there's nothing in the instructions or on the box to say the names of these things, right? Now, I've looked on Smith's website. They have a big blurb for the, for Scorponok, and you go into it and it actually says that this guy is Lord Zarak. But it also says that Lord Zarak is also the Titan Master. So, the same name to 2 different things. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. That's just the only little sort of confusing thing about the whole set. Yeah, exactly who are we looking at here? But aside from that, yeah, I really think that this set on the whole is awesome. It's really, really good. And yeah, he's awesome. He's amazing. Love the thing. He's fantastic. Awesome. Really, really cool figure. Very, very awesome. Oh, whoops. things fell out the back. So yeah, he's an amazing, cool figure, and I'm very glad that I got hold of one. So yeah, like I said, after this video is finished, I'll be putting him up where he belongs with the rest of our Titans on top of the details. So that's that guy done, and he arrived on the 7th. So next, now next thing, again, you've seen an unboxing video on these guys, and this is where I want to do like a mini chew in the fat, so to speak, of things that are going on in the world that are, you know, concerning me, so to speak, and it concerns international shipping. Now, the next figures I bought them back in April, and I ordered them off a seller on AliExpress on the 14th of April, and it was for the well, you can say it's MechFans Toys, but the Vecma Studios VS01, VS02, Chivalrouser and Wolf Warrior, the Chrome Dome and Weird Wolf, who are third-party upscaled KOs of these things. Now, these are the Unique Toys Palm Collection figures. So you've got Tom and Jerry, and they came out in the first Palm Collections box set. So these were the first two figures to come out. These are great little figures in themselves. I've got all the Palm Collection figures. I really got into that line. They're fairly simplistic. They're made out of that sort of dense chalky plastic that, you know, like Magic Square uses. Very similar sort of kind of plastic. I don't mind that. I think that works really well with these sort of size figures. They're pretty good, you know, G1, you know, homages on the G1 headmasters. But some of them, the engineering's a bit simplistic. Like Tom here, he is, yeah. Always no, is this Tom? Was this Jerry? I can't remember what whoever this is. The Chrome Dome is very, very simplistic, and the alt mode looks pretty ugly and compromised as a result. However, the Weird Wolf mold, this is a fantastic mold. It's an amazing mold, and I bought these guys. Well, I bought them because I was collecting the Palm Collection figures, but later on, obviously, I character mold set collect both these characters, so they were figures that I had to get. And then I heard that there was like third-party upscale knockoffs of these coming out, and I wasn't going to buy them initially, but then I saw somebody do a review on the hardhead version, and the improvements they'd made to the figure in upscaling it and, you know, KOing it over the originals was quite impressive. Actually, I was quite impressed on how many, you know, engineering improvements they'd made to it. So I thought, okay, I'll give these guys a shot. Now, they were being sold by a various number of sellers on, you know, AliExpress and eBay, and I decided to buy them together from a seller on AliExpress because the price they were doing the pair at was really good. And like I said, I ordered it on the 14th of April. Then, right, now, as they were ordered from AliExpress, AliExpress sent me an email to say, you know, your order's been received and it's been dispatched. And that email was sent out. I received that email on the 20th of April. So I ordered them on the 14th, and on the 20th of April I received a notification from AliExpress to say, yep, your order's been processed, or your order's been dealt with, and it's going to get shipped. Now, on the 21st, I received a tracking code from AliExpress, and they on the website, on the AliExpress website, I got this tracking information popped up, and it said, right, your package has been dispatched on the 21st of April, and they gave me a tracking code, and it was being sent from a seller in Singapore. So then it was a case of, they gave me a tracking code, and I tried it on, because it was a Royal Mail tracking code, so I tried it on the Royal Mail website, and I tried it on the Royal Mail website, and I got this. yeah. Sorry, we don't recognise this code. Try again later. Right, so that was what I got from Royal Mail. Royal Mail did not detect that tracking code. But over the next few days, the AliExpress, I got updates on the AliExpress tracking information. Like I said, it was dispatched on the 21st. It was then shipped to a warehouse in the country of origin. On the 23rd, it then departed said warehouse. Also on the 23rd, it was accepted by an airline. And on the 26th, it departed the country of origin. It originally departed Singapore. Now, that was the 26th of April. All this time, the tracking code was not working on the Royal Mail website. It was, you know, we don't recognise this code. Try again. So, yeah. Then there was a huge gap. There was a massive gap where nothing, no news, no updates. You know, it's almost as though my package just vanished. It just disappeared. Now, I'm going to refer to this as shipping hell. Right, so let's just say my package went into shipping hell. And it's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle. Packages go in and they disappear. Tracking codes are useless. They don't work. It'll just give you the tracking code saying, oh, it's been dispatched by the seller, or it's left the country of origin, and then nothingness. Nothingness. Tracking codes are worthless. Right, they don't work. So there was this huge wait. And there wasn't an update until the 10th of June, where I received an email from AliExpress saying that they have extended my purchase protection to the 18th of July. Now, I thought this was kind of weird, that AliExpress would actually contact me and say, well, look, because my package had already gone over the originally allotted delivery time that had been given by AliExpress. I think it was, I can't remember what it was originally. Anyway, it went over that date. So they sent me this email on the 10th of, I think it was something like it might have been the 18th of May, I don't know. It was something in a date in May where it was supposed to have been delivered, but it wasn't. I hadn't confirmed receipt of the package by the original, delivery date. So AliExpress sent me this thing on the 10th, extending my my payment protection to the 18th of July. Okay, fair enough. The next, bearing in mind, this was the 57th day after the date of purchase. So 7 days, it was dispatched by the seller on the 21st, which was 7 days after the date of purchase, and it left the country of origin on the 26th, which was 12 days after the date of purchase. But this was 57 days after the date of purchase. Right, so that was in June. Right, so there was still no update on the Royal Mail website. I kept trying it every day. It kept getting the same thing. Sorry, we don't recognise this code. Please try again. Yeah, later. So there was no update. So then, the next update. Finally, on the 16th of June, the tracking code finally got a reply on the Royal Mail website. So on the 16th of June, this was day 63, I got a tracking code update saying that the parcel had now departed the country of origin. Now this is strange because this is the second time this package has so-called departed the country of origin. The first time was on the 26th of April. So on the 16th of June, some 51 days later, it got dispatched again. Now, this got alarm bells ringing in my head. Why has it got two separate dispatch dates from the country of origin for the same tracking code? This does not compute. And it got me thinking that maybe AliExpress had sent a replacement package because the first one had vanished, disappeared. So this is what I suspected. I got no proof that they sent a replacement package, but these figures weren't worth a whole lot, to be honest. But yeah, I think they sent a second package. Anyway, so the next update was the 7th of July. some 84 days after the date of purchase, finally got notification. Packages in the UK. It's been received at the Langley HWDC. That was on the 7th of July. The same day, I also got notification to say it's left the Heathrow Processing Centre, and it's arrived at the South Midlands Mail Centre, which is at Northampton. And then the following day, July the 8th, they arrived. So, some 85 days after I originally purchased them, my figures have finally arrived. So these are, wow, MechFans Toys or Vecma Studios VS01, Chivalrouser and Wolf Warriors. Now, let's do a quick size comparison with their Unique Toys originals. And as you can see, they are significantly oversized. They are very largely oversized to the originals. They're just shy of a deluxe size. Maybe a bit too big for a Legends class, I think. But then again, in the G1, the Headmasters figures were a lot bigger than the other G1 figures, if you remember. They were large, they were really big. So I got these. Now, they've done major, moulding improvements on these. I mean, it's got more sort of moulded detail than this guy. I mean, if I size him up, obviously the paint apps are different. Other mould improvements is the Headmaster has got a head rotation. On these, they haven't. It's just a square peg, so they're fixed. The Headmaster has actually got working arms, even though they're on a single joint. The original Headmasters are teeny tiny, and they've got no working arms at all. Just a fold away leg. Articulation's pretty much the same. I mean, this has got sort of wrist swivels, which the original one hasn't got. But it's got, it's got a waist joint, it's got hips, thigh swivels, knees, a bit of an ankle tilt. It's decently poseable. But even though it's got all these engineering improvements and it's oversized, build quality on this, it's made out of this real sort of kind of semi-shiny plastic, whereas this has got the matte sort of dense plastic. I mean, this thing, as you can see, totally solid. This thing, yeah. So yeah, it's got that air of KO quality about it. Right. The other thing on this figure, the chest does not peg in. Now, to be fair, the original has got the same problem because it doesn't peg in. But because the joints are stiffer on this, you can get around it. There are ways and means to fix this. You just got to put some polish or super glue in there to just build that up so that it actually rubs when it closes down. It comes into contact with the two surfaces. There's no problem. But yeah, this thing could do with some more paint apps on the legs, I think, because look at this one. It has got a little something, and when you plug his guns in the back of his legs, it sort of fills in those gaps there. But it's okay, and I didn't pay that much for it, to be honest. I mean, it was less than 20 quid for this guy. And also these guys, because this Vecma studio is another spin-off studio from MechFans Toys, they come with these little Lost Planet sort of Diaclone figure things. Now, there's no mention in the instructions or on the box about these figures. Now, I got one of these with my Mechanic Studios Huffer. I got one with that. So I've now got 3 of these things. So this is the one that came with this guy. And he has an opening cockpit, which will take a pilot. Now, none of these figures come with pilots. The little the little Diaclone men, they don't come with them. You can buy them separately, but they don't come with them, which I think is a bit stupid, really. Why was it a mech suit with a pilot seat and it doesn't come with a pilot? That's what annoys me about these things. I've got 3 of them now, but nobody to pilot them, you know. But you know, it's got a decent amount of joints. It's decently posable, but I didn't ask for this thing. I didn't want it, but I got it anyway. So that's like, you know, 3 of these things I've got now. So got him, and then there's Wolf Warrior. Now, this guy, again, upscaled, re-engineered version of this. It's basically got the same engineering, but it's got more paint apps. It's got improvements like, you know, a head rotation. Again, the headmaster has got, you know, it's got working arms. They've re-engineered a few bits, done some extra moulding improvements to it. Because if you look, you can see, like, this one's got the extra, like, missile things in the shoulder. It's got some paint app improvements. So yeah, on the whole, it's pretty much better than this. But it's got the same issue with the plastic. And it's not as loose as the other one. I mean, that's solid. But, you know, he's got an amazing transformation, decent, you know, paint apps. He's all right. He's okay. But the little the little Lost Planet mech suit that comes with it, I love this thing. It looks like the power loader off Aliens. I mean, look, it's even got like the manipulator claws. A few black paint apps on this, you know, sort of like warning stripe paint apps, and it'd look just like the power loader off Aliens. Love this thing. This is great. I mean, now this is how you do a little, you know, like a mech suit add-on. You do it like this. You make it look like something, you know, famous, like a science fiction sort of, you know, from like a figure, like a character or a suit from, you know, famous science fiction. So yeah, it looks like the power loader from Aliens, and I absolutely adore that. I think that's brilliant. But yeah, so these are the figures that that went through shipping hell, basically. I ordered them on the 14th of April. They arrived on the 8th of July, some 85 days later. What happened to them in between, I don't know. I haven't got a clue, but at least they finally arrived. I finally got them, and they're okay. They're worth what you pay for them. Yes, they come with them little extra suit things, but you know, they don't come with pilots. So yeah, that's my main gripe with them. But they're all right. But again, this guy has got a few sort of QC issues, which you could quite easily fix, you know. I mean, I've got some future polish now. I can use that to fix, you know, dodgy ball joints. But yeah, they're a thing. They're all right. But the question is, were they worth the wait? Tough call. In hindsight, I wish I'd have bought them from a better trusted seller. Because, you know, like Bada Bobo had these on his eBay shop. I could have bought them off him instead of getting them through an unknown seller off AliExpress. But they arrived, I got them. They were like, you know, April, May, June. They're like 3 months overdue. But, you know, and that is the longest I've ever had to wait for a package. But it's a portent of things to come. Things that are going on at the moment in the world of, you know, the Transformers, you know, distribution. Yeah. So yeah, they arrived, and they arrived on the 8th. So yeah, that happened. Was glad to see them finally, but I was worried at one point. I thought the package was going to get lost, but it arrived. And a little side note: the shipping label that came on it. Now, I mentioned this in my unboxing video, but I've carefully peeled it off the package because it was that usual polystyrene package, you know, wrapped in yellow parcel tape. It was the usual thing. And they've slapped this label over the top of the original one. But the thing, I've been searching in vain for a date stamp on this shipping label, and I can't find one. I don't know when this parcel was, you know, shipped, when it was dispatched, because that would then tell me if it was the original first parcel that was shipped in April on the 26th, or a second replacement parcel that was shipped on the 16th of June. So I haven't been able to confirm the fact that they sent a replacement parcel. This would have been my smoking gun as to whether that was the case or not, but unfortunately there's no dispatch date, there's no shipping date on it. So I will never know. I will never know. I mean, if a second package arrives, then obviously they sent a replacement, but it looks like I've got my package now, it's arrived, fair enough. So that is that. Right, so let's move on, shall we, to other things. Right, so that's, what's that? That's 4 figures that arrived. So out of my original bots that arrived this month, there's only one more to go. Now, I can remember, yeah, I think it was the same day I got notification, because I was off that week. I was off that week, what was it, the 6th to the 10th of July, and I was off that week. And when I woke up one morning, I think, was it the Tuesday or the Wednesday morning, I woke up, checked my phone, the tracking code, yeah, that package is in the UK. And then went on eBay and found somebody selling a third-party figure, an older third-party figure that I've been after for ages. And it was like a used one, but it was all complete with boxes, you know, £90, buy it now, free shipping. Hell yes, boosh, bang, buy that sucker. Now, this next figure is, my reasons for buying it are rather interesting, and you really need to watch this video clip that I'm about to show you. And I apologise for the poor video quality. I do not own any, video capture software, so I can't rip videos off YouTube, in full quality. But I've, just watch this. Right, so what you've just seen is some scenes from Biklon's Season 5, where this train bot was introduced. Now, this figure, this train former, or Locomotor 555, and then it turns into Engine Man. It was a new figure, a new character that was, a new toy that was introduced for Season 5 of Biklon's. But unfortunately, now they actually did a prototype of this figure, and it was pretty big. It transformed from, I think, a train about this big to a robot about this big. It was a pretty big figure, and they did a pre-production prototype, and they showed it at one of the Korean sort of toy manufacturers' trade fairs, and around about Christmas time, and I think 2015. However, shortly after that, Young Toys noticed that the the sales figures on Biklon's figures was dipping down below an acceptable level. The toy brand had run its course. I mean, it was on to its 5th season. It had run, it'd run 5 seasons. They'd have 2 lots of toys. The bots for season 1, the bots for season 1 and 2, and then the bots for season 3 and 4, and then they went on to season 5, and they cancelled the toy line. The show, the Biklon's cartoon show, which was in production at the time, advanced to episode 13, and they said, right, we're cancelling the toy line, finish off the show. So they wound the show up in episode 14. They wound the whole plot up in one episode so fast, and it's such a shame because the series was developing up to that point really well, and then they just went and they just cancelled the whole lot. And when they cancelled it, that toy, that Locomoto 555 or the Engine Man, got cancelled, and it never came out. And I really wanted to get hold of that figure, but it never happened. However, later on, I discovered this old third-party figure that kind of bears a striking resemblance to Engine Man in robot mode. And one came up on eBay, and I thought, oh yeah, I've got to make a play on this. And I've been searching for one for ages, and yeah, the odd one or two did come up, but they were like ridiculously outrageous scalper prices, like 150, 160 quid, and I wasn't prepared to pay that. But this guy came up with one for 90, complete with box and all his accessories, and I thought, hell yes. What am I talking about? I mean, I haven't seen the unboxing on this, so you don't know what I'm going to show you now. Mastermind Creations Night Morpher KM02 Annihilator. So it's their Nemesis Prime repaint of the that Optimus Prime steam engine toy that they did. Yeah. I think this bears a striking resemblance to that Biklon's Engine Man. I think it looks a lot like it, and that's why I wanted to get this initially, because it's just an analogue for it. It's the closest thing I'm going to get to owning that toy is this thing. And yeah, Mastermind Creations, Night Morpher, that's that line of figures they bought out in the early days, where they were based on the Transformers Hearts of Steel comic. Even though Optimus wasn't actually in it, they did a mould of him, and they did a couple of repaints. They did a Nemesis Prime repaint. They did a Shattered Glass, like a purple repaint, and they did an Ultra Magnus repaint as well. So they got the mileage out of this mould. But I wanted the Nemesis one, and again, this is a really rare and expensive figure to get hold of. But because of its, it looks so much like that cancelled Biklon's figure, I just had to get it. But I mean, this thing works for me on other ways as well. It's a transforming train. I like train transformers. There isn't nearly enough train transformers in my opinion, but this is a transforming train, and it's a Nemesis Prime. It's a Nemesis Prime. And I'm going to show you in a minute why that is significant. But yeah, I got this. Came with his box, came with the track, all the accessories, the train car that hooks onto the back, which opens out to be, like a prime trailer, and it's got like a big sort of cannon inside it. Absolutely fantastic. It's got amazing light piping. Yeah, it's got a few loose joints because it's an early third-party figure from back in the day. I think it came out in 2011, the Night Morpher stuff. But yeah, had to get it and finally got one. And I had no issues about paying 90 quid for this figure because I know how rare and expensive it can get. So yeah, I was amazed that one came up. It was a seller in the UK who's obviously offloading it, and I got in there and so glad that I did. And it certainly one of the more interesting items that I've picked up this month. Fantastic. Now there was a bit of a gap now because I bought all that stuff. I had about 90 quid left in my budget, and I didn't know what to do then. So yeah, that arrived on the 11th, and then there was this huge gap. Then on this is not necessarily a thing necessarily that I did, but I was looking at my details and thinking, maybe I can make some changes. I can move things around. And on the 18th of July, I decided, because I've bought recently got another Nemesis Prime. I'm thinking, how many Nemesis Prime molds have I got? And I went through and I thought, actually, I've got about 11, 12 Nemesis Prime bots. I know, let's clear out one of my Optimus shelves in my Detolf and fill it up with Nemesis. So that's basically what I did. So if you look at these pictures... Yeah, so you see I had the two Optimus shelves, and then I sort of reorganised the top shelf, cleared out the second shelf and filled it up with Nemesis, and there they are. So that's got a load of Nemesis bots in it. So this guy's going to be going in there after I've done this video. But he's not the only Nemesis bot I bought this month. So yeah, like I said... I got these 5 items that come in, hadn't bought anything else, and then it was I bought something off eBay. I bought that Fans Hobby Athena from a seller in Hong Kong for round about 70 quid, because now that figure had been on pre-order for months. Kapow had it. TFS Express had it. They were doing it for around about sort of like 60 quid, for a Masterpiece-esque, third-party Minerva. Looks amazing. Transforms into a Porsche 959. I love the alt mode on it, and that's the principal reason why I bought it. But I slept on it. I didn't pre-order it when it was readily available, and then when I finally found out, oh yeah, this figure's finally coming out, pre-orders had all gone. Next thing I know, I go on eBay and the scalpers have got it. They're selling a figure which should be around about 60, 70 quid for like 120, 130 quid. And I'm going to name and shame 2 UK sellers, Dr. Octaville and Altmore. 2 of the biggest, dirtiest scalper characters that we've got on eBay in the UK. They're awful. And Mastermind Creations reformatted R43 Moors. Now there is a world shortage of this figure. I found out through one of my friends that Mastermind Creations haven't made enough of them. It's been oversold. More people have bought it than toys have actually been produced. And obviously, due to the COVID crisis, the production at the factory, they're not making as many figures as they normally would, because of production delays due to, COVID lockdown restrictions and, maybe people, off sick with, COVID-related issues, or suppliers sending raw materials to the factory have been delayed. So yeah, there's production delays, which means that figures aren't being produced as quickly or as numerously as what they should be. And this is not only affecting third party figures, this is affecting official figures as well. And then there's the whole shipping and distribution thing. These figures aren't getting shipped out quickly enough to the sellers that need to get them. I mean, the whole shipping hell thing, which is an offshoot of the COVID virus, because international shipping for the most part is done via air travel. And before COVID, you had hundreds, if dozens, if not hundreds of flights coming from the Far East to the West, passenger flights that would have, packages on them that will get shipped from one side of the world to the other. Then the COVID crisis hit and the flights just stopped. And now the flights have come back, but they're a shadow of their former self. There's only a handful of flights. And people are still buying packages in the Far East, and these packages, they're all building up. And they're being sent into storage warehouses waiting for a flight to send them over to their destination. And it's causing a huge backlog. And Japan is one of the worst countries hit by this. And Japan Post have actually put on a blanket ban on all international shipping for like 3 to 4 months because of it. Because it's just getting too much. So yeah, the whole shipping hell. And then you've got, production delays in the factories. And then you've got other things going on like, Takara. And doing lots of reveals for, all these exclusive box set figures that are US retail exclusives. You know, they're going to be on Hasbro Pulse or Amazon US, or they're going to be Walmart exclusives or Target exclusives or Walgreens exclusives. And it's okay for people in America to buy these things, but what about us poor suckers who live in the rest of the world? How are we going to buy them? I mean, you might see them go on pre-order with, you know, Kapow or In Demand or, you know, TFS Express, but you've got to jump on them because then pre-orders will disappear really quick, and then when the figure comes out, the factories are underproducing, there isn't enough of them to go around, and it's a vicious cycle. The scalpers are clued in, they know what figures people want, they're snapping them up and slapping them on eBay for their scalper prices. It's all shit that's going on in the world at the moment, and it's really, really frustrating me as a, you know, Transformers collector. I can see things that are going on, and it's really annoying me. Anyway, let's get back to it. You know, I ordered that Athena, been given a tracking code by the seller. The tracking code doesn't work. Yeah, so that figure is currently in shipping hell. I also ordered some KTRTs this month. Ordered 2 packs of mini figures. The new Hello Carbots mini figures for seasons 2 and 3 have been released. 7 figures in total. I ordered from one seller in Korea, a set of 4 and a set of 3. So I've got all 7 figures coming from the same seller as a multiple purchase. Again, I got an email message. Well, I got a message saying that package has been dispatched by the seller, and no update on the tracking code. Yeah, so that's another one that's in shipping hell at the moment. So yeah. Anyway, I ordered Athena. Hasn't been delivered. Still waiting for it. Don't know where it is. But so getting towards the end of the month, and it was, I've only got 5 items to show you, and I was a little, you know, little underwhelmed by the haul this month, and I thought, well, I've got to do more. And then I thought, well, you know, let's go on eBay. Mr. Gerrut Camero to the rescue again. So I went on Gerrut Camero's site and I looked through his eBay shop, hundreds and hundreds of items, and I sorted out or singled out probably 5 or 6 items that I'll be interested in buying. Now, you put these figures together and it came to over £100, and at this time I only had like £29 left in my monthly budget. So I thought, can't really afford these. Then I looked at it, I looked at the pricing, and I worked out all manner of combinations to buy these figures. Now, the prices of some of them, because Gerrut Camero has this one-stop shipping price, which is around about, say, £14.50 for shipping from the Netherlands to the UK. And yeah, he adds that to every figure he sells. So if you're buying something small and cheap off him, you have to add the shipping price to it, and then it makes the overhaul value of that character, that toy, a little excessive. But then it works really well when you've got a bigger, more impressive figure, and you can get it reasonably cheap. And this shipping price is a singular shipping price. So if you buy multiple items, you only pay one shipping price. So you get the benefit of that, and that's what I did when I bought those 6 items off him last time. I split it in, split the shipping price into 6, then put it onto the individual prices, and that's how I got that. So I decided to order from him again, and I ordered it on was it Sunday the 26th? Because I thought, well, if I order it now, it usually ships 3 to 4 days. There's a good chance it'll arrive before the end of the month. Anyway, yesterday, Thursday the 30th, it arrived. 5 items from Mr. Gerrut Camero. Now, needless to say, this whole lot with the shipping and the PayPal fee, because obviously PayPal, I'm now very conscious of the fact that PayPal, when you're doing a currency conversion and paying for stuff on eBay via PayPal, they like to add their little fee on top, don't they, when they do the currency conversion. So yeah, it all come to like 110 quid. So I went over budget again this month because of this. Now, I have these, what I've been doing the last couple of years, last year, what I did, I roughly budget for £400 a month, and every time I came in under budget, I'd save the money, the theoretical amount I'd saved every month. I'd put it into a little sort of leftovers pot, and that would build up over the course of the year. And last year, 2019, I built up nearly 150 quid in leftovers, or a spare cash pot from 2019. So this year I've been doing the same. I've been, when I've saved some money during a month, I add it to the pot, and I had like 169 set aside. But last month I went over budget, and I took that money out of the 2020 excess. However, I've since gone back, rejiggled the figures, and I've taken that money off the 2019 leftovers, because the 2019 is an amount, a set amount that I'm not going to add to it again, and as soon as it's gone, it's gone. So I decided to use up the 2019 excess first before moving on to the 2020. So the 2019, in paying this 110 quid, I took the remaining money, which is about 55 quid that was left in the 2019, used all that up, then I took some money off the 2020. I managed to buy this little lot. Now, there's some really unusual bots here, but let's just get into them, so, shall we? I mean, this video is almost up to an hour. Right, so the first bot I ordered was this guy, Transformers the Movie Camshaft, Deluxe Camshaft. He's one of the drone figures that they bought out for the original Transformers the Movie. Yeah, this mould was also done as a Decepticon drone. I think it was Swindle. He was painted, I think, red. And but this guy, and he's got a little sort of gimmick. Got the shooty-outy sort of chest laser thing. I watched a review on this. I think it was it Pure, or was it somebody else did a review on it? And I thought, well, it's kind of basic, but it looks kind of interesting. And he was selling, Gerrut Camero was selling it for about £7.20 less his postage, so it was really cheap. So I thought, yeah, I'll buy that. So I bought that. That was the first figure that I got. Then iGear Bushwhacker. Yeah, iGear Mini Warrior MW06 Bushwhacker. So basically, it's iGear's Outback. More recently, I've been buying a few Outback molds, and I saw this guy, and he was doing it for like just under 10 quid. It was like £9.98, and then you had to add the shipping to it. So really good price. Comes with a box and everything. It's got a few sort of blemishes on it where I think somebody was trying to use super glue to maybe improve the joints, because it's got some of the ball joints are getting a bit worn on it, and unfortunately they got glue on their fingers and they handled the figure, so there's some sort of smudgy fingerprints on it. But apart from that, he's pretty cool. Come with his gun, like I said, he's come with instructions and the trading card and all that. And out of all the figures I bought off Gerrut Camero, this was, if I was going to just buy one figure using the excess that the leftover money I had with this month's budget, it would have been this guy. So out of all the figures, this is the guy I would have bought no matter what. So that's iGear Bushwhacker. Then Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Cliffjumper, and it's not the Siege Fall of Cybertron. This is the one that's the Generations Fall of Cybertron from the Fall of Cybertron computer game. Yeah, obviously, Few Adams did that that video where he did that Cliffjumper video a couple of weeks back, and obviously this was one of the molds he looked at, and I looked at it and I thought, that looks pretty cool. Would have preferred to have had the Takara version, because it's in that really blinging sort of metallic red. This one's alright though. Got a bit of a junk in the trunk, but apart from that, he's okay, he's decent. And I like the alt mode on this, that little round sort of Cybertronian car. It's one of the few Cybertronian modes that I actually like. It's a pretty cool looking car, so yeah, we got him. And he was about just over 15 quid without the shipping. Then Revenge of the Fallen Scout Class Scattershot. Now I was looking at this thing and I thought, that looks ever so weird, because I mean, you look at his legs and he's got like his shins are made out of snow plows. And I watched a review on this. I think it was it Pure did the review on it, or Bolt Matrix, one of the two. It might even have been Vangelis actually. They did a review on it, and it's got a really decent alt mode, really interesting, unusual transformation, and the robot mode has got some really unusual sort of aesthetic features on it, like the front of the vehicle mode becomes the bottom of his feet, and he's got these sort of these snowplow things which fold up to become his shins. It's like he's got really lanky arms as well, and he's got these two sort of goldy guns. It's a shame the guns, because this is supposed to be Scattershot. You know, you got Cybertron's Scattershot, who's a similar sort of colour to this guy. He's like a dark blue and a sort of like a camel yellow, and he has the two cannons sticking up the back. It's a shame they haven't got a way to plug the guns into the back, but hey ho. But I saw this guy and I thought, you know, he looks kind of interesting, but he's a scout class figure, and the price that Gerrut Camero was asking for this was exactly the same as the shipping price. So if you'd have bought this guy on his own, you would have paid double what he was asking for it, because you'd have paid the price for this guy and then the same again for the shipping price. So out of all the figures that I got out of this, he was probably the most expensive in that regard. But he's still a pretty neat and unusual figure, and I don't regret buying him. And buying him as part of this lot of 5 figures, that brought the price down a little bit. But still, for what he is still kind of pricey. And then finally, now I was looking at this guy the last month in was it well, when I did that other order with Gerrut Camero, I was looking at this guy. I mean, he was 45 quid without the postage, you know, and he's kind of small, and I was struggling to justify spending the money to buy him. But then I went and looked at the price of this guy elsewhere, and on eBay, the sellers in Japan asking like 80, 90 quid for this. And it's a novelty transformer, but it's an official transformer. It's actually official. And as I said, I got another Nemesis Prime this month. Takara Black Convoy pen. So this is the mould that turns into a pen. Now, where's the pen? The pen nib is actually on the end of the gun. But the refill on it is very small, so if you use this thing as a pen and you're writing with it constantly, the ink will soon run out. So I wouldn't recommend using it as a pen too much, because, you know, you'll just use all the ink up and then it won't work. And then what's the point of a pen transformer that doesn't write, you know? But man, this figure's awesome. It's a bit lanky because of the aesthetic. I mean, obviously they did the Optimus version, and they did a white Magnus version of this, but the Nemesis version looks so good. And he's got an amazing amount of joints. I mean, it hasn't really got an ab crunch, but no, he's got ball joints, swivels, double elbows, got double knees. Absolutely amazing. And the aesthetic on it, you know, the paint apps, it's got all this nice, lovely, shiny silver, some teal accents, the red titty windows, you know. He looks amazing. The fact that, you know, the ball joints on his feet are, I don't know, you can see that. You see that there, look, he's got these extended ball joints on his feet, so he's got these little stems on his feet, which looks a little unusual, but apart from that, transforming it into a pen's a bit unusual. You just sort of like spread it out and then plug the gun between his legs, and, you know, it turns into a pen. But it does write, you know, he can write his own name. But yeah, I wanted to get this, and I finally went for it. And with the shipping, when I split the shipping out between the 5 figures, I got this guy for around about 50 quid, or just over 50 quid, which is a lot of money for something so small. But when you look at the price this thing goes for, because it's a novelty transformer, it's a novelty, you know, it turns into a pen. And yeah, it's a novelty transformer. So that's part of what attracted me to it in the first place. Because I don't mind an odd novelty transformers that, you know, transform, they have alt modes that are unusual. They're not vehicles necessarily, they're like household items. I quite like that. I mean, bots, I kind of like bots for that reason, because, you know, they all transform into everyday items, you know. But this guy, and obviously it's the Nemesis version, so know where he's going later on. He's going on the Nemesis shelf with Mr. Annihilator. So yeah. So that is that, and that's the last spot I got this month. Thanks to Mr. Gerrut Camero for coming to my rescue and basically, you know, fleshing out my haul at the end of the month. That was great. Now, obviously, it's that that thing I do at the end of every haul, first and worst. Now, I haven't really decided. I mean, I've kind of got a worst figure in mind. But the first, got some really interesting stuff this month. But I think first and worst. Yeah, I've been really impressed with Scorponok. Up until this point, I didn't have a G1 style Scorponok figure in my collection. The only Scorponoks I had was the RID Scorponok and the Energon Scorponok. So I really wanted, you know, a G1 style Scorponok. And I could have got a G1 Scorponok. You know, you can get him, but he's got so many parts, and to get one that's complete is a bit of a mission. But then this guy came out, and I thought, wow, you know, he's a Titan. I'm going to get him. And I said in my unboxing video that, is this, you know, the last hurrah of the Titan class? Is this the last Titan class we're going to get? Are they going to do any more after this? We don't know. He could very much be the last Titan. I mean, yeah, okay, a black and gold repaint of this into black Zarak is pretty much a shoo-in, but that could be done as a convention exclusive, couldn't it? Yeah, so I got him, and I like him the best. And then, yeah, Chivalrouser, because even though he's an improvement over the original, he's still, you know, got annoying QC issues, and it definitely feels like a KO. And the alt mode looks better in car mode than the car mode on this version, but again, it's not enough for me to say that, you know, it's the worst thing that I potentially got, or the figure that I like the least out of everything I got this month. So that is that. Yeah, this video's gone out for well over an hour. Apologies for that. You know how I like to waffle. Obviously, there was a lot of talky in this, mainly about, you know, the outrageous shipping delays, you know, the shipping hell that these guys went through. And then obviously I had a little bit of I wouldn't call it a rant about, you know, the current situation of things in the world. But yeah, don't take me too seriously. You know, if you don't agree with my opinion, don't lambast me in the comments. You know, if you're a troll, keep your opinions to yourself, please. Because, you know, you'll get blocked otherwise, because, you know, I'm not a fan of trolls. You know, I've blocked a number of people recently for being for trollish behaviour, and I'm not above, you know, blocking people if they start getting out of order and giving me a load of unnecessary grief. And I know I'm controversial sometimes, but, you know, just got to live with it. Just ignore me, you know, when I start, you know, spouting off like that. But anyway, that's been my haul. Hopefully you like it. Hope you like some of the things I got this month. I've been TFR Wilderness, and don't know what's going to happen next month. I might go over budget again next month. I do have some tentative plans to go and visit a friend of mine in the south of England, and maybe buy a bunch of bots off him. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. There is some KTRTs I'd like to pull the trigger on, but because of the whole shipping hell thing, I'm reluctant to do that. And there is some other figures that I'm desperately trying to get hold of, you know, because of the whole situation, you know, Mastermind Creations, Moors. I'm trying desperately to get hold of that Cybertronian Villains Seeker 2-pack, but, you know, I think I've missed the boat on that. I doubt I'll be able to get one without paying scalper premiums on it. So, yeah, that's been me, TFR Wilderness. Hopefully I'll catch you all next time, and I'll bid you adieu. Farewell.